We are here. We are here at Movement Mortgage headquarters. Again, welcome back to the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. Of course, each guest that I bring on to this podcast is someone I feel is doing the work. Not saying they're under-recognized, but I just want to shed more light on the people that are doing the work and not just putting it out, just looking like you're doing the work through social media. So today's guest is my guy, Austin P. Duke.
Yeah.
The P stands for what, Austin?
The P stands for multiple things. It just depends on which way you want to go. P stands for paid, P stands for Patrick, P stands for petty. It's wherever.
It's
wherever we want to go.
It's whatever. We're gonna test it out today, man. So I appreciate you having me down here, man. We're at Movement Mortgage headquarters, man. This building is crazy.
That's awesome.
I watched this building get built. My first house was literally right around the corner.
Oh yeah, you're saying that.
Yeah, so we watched the first building get built, and I think they got two buildings now. Yeah. But the whole campus is phenomenal. That's crazy.
Yeah, how'd you like the gym?
Man, that was dope.
Yeah,
like to be able to work somewhere where you can cancel your gym membership.
Yeah.
That was all. I worked at a place before I got into real estate, or while I was in real estate, like early on stages, where they had a gym, and it was cool. Those are kind of. I mean, even if you don't use it, you're like, oh, at least I can have the option.
Right. Yeah, without having to pay for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool, man. Well, I mean, by now you've seen the episodes that I've done. You've agreed to be on it, so that's even better. So obviously you like, or at least are okay with what we're talking about.
Do I need to sign anything?
Yeah, nah, you don't need to sign.
All right,
nah, you good. No release. But just let the people know who you are, man. Let's start off with that. Who's
Absolutely.
Austin Duke?
Well, Austin Duke. Well, first, I want to give you a shout out. Like, I'm big on giving flowers and showing love. So first and foremost, I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, no.
First and foremost, and more importantly, is to, like I've told you before, when I was making the switch from my mortgage company, you were one of the first people that I called. And I saw how you made your move from Costello to Noir, and just your leadership and everything that you've done. And from the day that I first met you, I have admired you as a black man and a leader in this industry. And like you said, people that are actually putting in the work, not just looking like it.
Yeah.
But everybody that's underneath you or working with you, they speak highly about you. That you taught them a lot about the game and how organized you are and just how a genuine person that you are. So for me, coming from football, it's a little bit about Austin P. Duke. Coming from football, coming from Carolina Panthers and the XFL and being a pro athlete, I needed an example of somebody that looked like me in the industry, and you were one of those examples that I looked to. So I want to give you your flowers and say that I appreciate you, and for you to keep going and keep leading, keep being genuine, and keep doing your thing, brother. So
I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. That was cool, man. Look at you
man.
out here. We're gonna put that on repeat. We're gonna leave
Make that a short.
Make that a little cut. They're gonna put that on my page. Nah, that's what's up. So you said XFL, man. I knew about the Panthers. I didn't know about the XFL.
Yeah,
Tell me about, how was that different?
So pretty much the XFL, it's for the rejects. I'm just nah. So after I left the Panthers, I tore my hamstring or something. Took my hamstring and then went to the AAF. Sat there. Pretty much just got a check, rehabbing and healing. And then my next opportunity was the CFL, which I did the preseason there. I played really well, but it's a little different. You can only have a certain amount of Americans there, and you have like a long list of guys that already been there that you kind of got to wait behind. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So the XFL came around, which is now acquired by The Rock. That was huge. But in 2020, I was there, was the leading punt returner, was playing really well, but COVID hit. COVID came and knocked everybody in a different direction.
Yeah.
And it was, when it first happened, I said it's going to be winners and losers of this thing. And I just knew from there, I couldn't wait around for another year or two for football to come, and I'm still living at my parents' house. And I have some money saved up, but if you're just spending money with no income, like you're gonna be broke.
Yeah.
So I started looking into getting into real estate. When I was younger, I used to watch the HGTV channel all the time, and I knew I wanted to do something with real estate. So I started doing my research, and when that happened, I went into coaching for a little bit, but then I was just like, nah, I'm only getting paid like $2,000. I couldn't do that. So as I started doing the research with real estate and the mortgage lending, I was like, yeah, this is it. You can do multiple things. You can help people, you can assist people, and then you can make a lot of money doing it. And it just, resonated with me really well and was like, yeah, let's do it. So
Dope.
that's how I got into my second career.
Yeah.
And, you just had to find a way to win.
No, I feel you. Well, I mean, I don't want to reflect too long on your NFL past, but I do want. I mean, that's part of who you are.
Absolutely.
So I do want to ask a couple questions. I mean, you're from Charlotte.
Yep.
Everything was Charlotte, right?
Yep.
It was high school. You played for the Panthers, and now you're in Miami, right? So how has that transition been? Because I mean, we'll talk about the transition between companies, but how's the transition been from? I mean, you were home,
Right.
Now you elsewhere. What's that like?
Well, it's been a blessing. It's been very productive. It's been, for me, I went to college here, played pro ball here, and for me, it was a change of pace. Charlotte is up and coming city. It's growing, but I was too familiar with it. That was probably one of the problems with the Panthers was I was a hometown kid.
Yeah.
Everybody knew me, and I got the royal treatment. It's just like, dude, I didn't even make the team yet. I'm on practice squad, bro. Like, damn, like.
Yeah.
So that was different, but Miami, man, it's so productive in the terms of everybody there is, and not saying that people in Charlotte aren't, but everybody there has a hustle. Everybody there is trying to make $1 million. And it's a little more liberal. It's not as conservative as Charlotte. And as we know, Charlotte's very conservative. Still in the Bible Belt, whereas Miami, it's a whole different country down there. It's its own, and Florida by itself, in general, it's just different.
Yeah.
So it was a great change of pace for me to get out, spread my wings, and try something new, meet new people. And I wanted to, expand my business down there in Miami as well. So being in Miami and Charlotte and expand business, so it's been really productive, man. It's really good.
Okay. So with you choosing to do mortgages, you said I want to go that mortgage route. Why mortgages instead of sell houses?
Instead of selling houses? Well, I think you cracked the code on that. I think you did. Like, you got it. Like, you had a firm with all females at one point in time. And I feel like females, just like when you're buying a house, the female makes the house a home. And that's just the natural ordinance of things. So I think you cracked the code on that. They just do a better job, in my opinion. Yeah, you have guys that kill it in the industry, but I thought it was a very female and women-driven industry. And I didn't see myself, once I got the, saw how practical it was, I didn't see myself doing that. And then the mortgage lending side actually had a better correlation to football and quarterback in the deal, because as much as you can do on the house, I'm a control freak. I need to be in control of the situation and lead in the situation. And you can't buy a house unless you're doing all cash without the financing.
Right.
So if I know that I can be in control of all the pieces and making sure that when it comes down to it, I'm in control of the check pretty much. That excited me, that gave me that control to make sure, like, I got to win this and get it done.
And you can actually expand on your relationships, right? With real estate, as an agent, our relationships, and I won't say limited, well, I will. Our relationships are limited to our resources, our lender, our attorney, whereas you, as a mortgage lender, can make those relationships, or you can expand on those relationships by having multiple agents, or having multiple connections. So even for you, with your network of professional athletes or non-professional athletes, being able to kind of present to that person, hey, I have different options for you. It's a lot easier in the mortgage side. That's cool.
I wouldn't say a lot easier, because y'all's job is really tough, and our job is really tough. It's stressful because of the guidelines. I think that's what makes us. It's really stressful, but
I
wouldn't say easier, but
yeah, my bad. Damn, I hurt you on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna start sweating. Shoot.
Yeah, no. So, okay. So, work ethic, man. You went to the NFL. You're now in mortgage lending. What is it about Austin P. Duke, his work ethic, that makes him go? Because you did, your first year in mortgage lending, how much did you do?
In the first 14 months of me actually, I think I did $25 million.
I mean, $25 million is a lot of houses, right? So, what is it about Austin that, no matter what environment he's in, he's going to figure out a way to make it work?
Well, I think simply put, it's I come from nothing, but I do something. You cannot catch my drive. You over here, damn Deion Sanders in this bit. Nah. Y'all heard the Drake song, the Drake and 21 Savage song on BS at the end when the Italian guy goes on. I'm tripping.
No, but I know the.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know the song. Yeah.
Okay, that's where I got that from.
Okay.
He's like, you come up flexing on me, and I come from nothing. I drive a 4-cylinder. And I've been on that for some reason as of lately. But
in Miami,
I think what makes me, it was my work ethic is I've always been the smallest, and I've always been told no. I've never been somebody's go-to. I've never been somebody's favorite. And I carry that chip, man, like wherever I go. Like I was always having to prove myself, and I just simply wanted to play football.
Yeah.
But because I was too small, because I wasn't what everybody thought was good enough, like I had to learn how to work by myself, work in silence. I was the kid that was up at 5 a.m. before the bus, and I'd be outside running routes, running, a mile around my block, going to track practice. And as soon as I leave track practice, I'm going to go run hills. Up at the middle school, I was always the one that had to do more because that's what they said if I wanted to make it. My dad taught me if I want to make it, then that's what I had to do. So it just kind of just carried on. And I think now it's a little obsessive because I want to be one of the best.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people describe who the best is or the greatest is can be subjective. So I don't try to be the best. I just want to be one of the best, one of the greatest to do it. And I try to work my best to become that realistically. But now, as I move to Miami, I'm learning that in order to make a lot of money or to start, you have to work really hard. But now it's about working smart and working efficiently. And I think you figured that out too. But I'm catching up to that now and having a team. Yeah. By yourself, you can go far, but by a team, you can go further. Yeah. And that's what Coach Rivera taught me. But, learn how to delegate.
Yeah.
Learn how to delegate. Learn how to trust your team and be hands-off and do your best at your role. And then the rest is you manage it or you ask where you can help and things like that. But, I think that's what separates me. I just always had that chip on my shoulder of being one of the smallest and not always being good enough. And I didn't like that feeling. So.
Yeah, I would have hated sitting next to you on the bus, getting up at 5 a.m. to go run routes.
Yeah.
You'd have smelled like ass. When I was like, go
take a
somewhere
shower.
else, bro.
I would go home.
That's like them kids. I used to hate them kids that used to have gym class in the middle and like beginning of the day, and then you got to sit next to them the whole way.
That's
like,
terrible.
Bro. I know your gym class was at 9.
My smells are top tier. My smells are top tier. I got to put you on my cologne guy.
Well, you don't have to because I smelled it standing outside the door. Yeah,
it's amazing.
I was like, damn, what the hell?
Did it smell good?
It does smell.
Did
good,
you like it?
Yeah, I did like it.
It's a different element to it.
It is a different element. It has a trail. Mine doesn't linger. I need my shit to linger. Like
I got you. I'm telling you, he has everything.
Really?
I got you. And you
have a guy?
I have a guy. You can't tell anybody on the podcast. But if you want to give it to you, like
no, I won't give it to anybody. I would
dish it off. You can.
If you have a guy, I'm just gonna go through you and ask
I got
for
you.
it.
I got you.
Yeah.
You want that linger effect? I got you.
I swear to you, I kid you not. Knocked on that door, and I was like, "Damn, I can smell him out here."
Yeah. That's what you want.
I need that shit in my life. Anyway, my bad. So you were previously at a different what do they call them? They don't call them firm, but brokerages.
We're at different
mortgage company.
Lender,
you were at a different mortgage company, or a different
mortgage
lender.
company. Yeah.
Prior to Movement Mortgage.
Correct.
What inspired the change? What is the difference? And which one's better? I mean, obviously, where you are now, you think it's better. But what inspired the change, and what have you been putting in place that's made you better?
Well, first, I want to read a letter like Dave Chappelle did on Saturday Night Live. This is just a disclaimer. I stand beside. I gotta be okay. But no, first and foremost, like I appreciate everything Rosegate. Yeah, I'm giving them a little shout.
Okay.
I appreciate everything that they've done for me. Brad and Bryce did a hell of a job of raising me up in the industry. Like again, I came from nothing, coming from the industry. Yeah. Coming from the field to here, it took a lot to train me. Yeah. I never had been in an office space, never been in a professional environment. So I remember my first incident that I had with the client or somebody. But I mean, she got ratchet, so I got ratchet back, and I didn't know that.
Did you want to do that?
Yeah, I didn't know. So I'm sending text messages like, like I'm here to help you out, and I didn't know I was supposed to just stay professional and just let it go. So Bryce, they worked with me through that. Any other company, you probably would have been fired, but they stuck with me. They worked with me, so I appreciate that. I'm always grateful for that. Even on how to prospect, how to structure my day, things like that. Because in football, everything is structured for you. I just show up and play. Yeah. But here, I had to do my to-do list. I had to set my schedule, things like that. So they raised me up in that instance. So I will always be grateful for that. But and you know about this, but as I started understanding what I brought to the table and started understanding my value and my uniqueness and my ability to close and have relationships and things like that, I realized like, okay, I'm not getting the resources that I need. I'm not getting paid correctly for the time and efforts that I'm putting in. And they just didn't necessarily have the resources and tools that I needed in the Black community. That's where all of my business really is, besides professional athletes and the one-offs that I do have. But a lot of the times in our industry, we're working with customers that are clients that their first time buying a home, and they didn't have somebody in the family. And not saying this doesn't happen in other communities, but it's prevalent in the Black community. And we didn't have the resources or the down payment assistance programs, or FHA wasn't a big priority on their list of things. So for me, it would have been selfish of me to demand that from something that they weren't interested in doing. Like, it's their company, it's their baby, and they were a startup, so it's not for me to sit here and tell them how to run it. So after me trying to communicate that constantly over and over again, it was just time for me to walk away and go to a company that takes a priority in the Black community and what I want to accomplish and the things that I need to be successful. Because one thing about it, everybody can't close. And I realized that quickly. Everybody can't develop relationships. Everybody can't get business. And I was doing that consistently, and that's when I realized, like, okay, this is my value. Now I need to go find a company that's willing to put their money where their mouth is and give me the resource and everything. So that's how that happened.
I just had a conversation this morning with a young lady who was interested in joining the firm, and we were talking about the need for representation as far as when you join a company, it's helpful in your decision when the company itself has a brand, has a recognizable brand, and not only that, has something that aligns with what you're looking for, right? A lot of times people join firms or mortgage companies just because they're going to get paid more, right? And in my field, it's commission, right? The commission is a little bit higher elsewhere. And, those conversations, it's like, all right, you can go to those places, but I've never been a part of something where the firm actually speaks volume before we walk into the room. And the same thing happens with Movement Mortgage, right? When you drop Movement Mortgage's name, it's oh, I've heard of them, right? Or, oh yeah, my sister used them, or something, right? So it's one of those things where you want where you work, you want people to not have to question why you work there. Or not only that, you want people to be like, oh, you work there. Okay, bet. And that's that. I mean, I told you that before. I was like, man, I'm kind of tired of explaining to people. But but it is what it is. I'm like, I don't mind using you, bro, but it's a conversation that's unnecessary. Like, and me and you had our conversations outside of, when you talked about leaving or when you talked about doing other things. I gave my opinion, and I definitely think you made the right decision. And solely because, again, you now have the resources, the tools, the backing to do what you're trying to do. And I think, with both of us share the mindset of we want to help our community. Right. And when you talk about a company like Movement Mortgage, who has programs in place for Hispanics, has committees in place for Black people, like, that's stuff that you want to have affiliated with your name and your backing. So that's huge.
And that was one of the things too that I know. I watched the last episode with Desiree, and she, she's my partner as well. But that was one of the things that when she pushed you, or you said that she was a big reason why you went with Noir. It's the same here. I was talking to her through the situation, and a lot of my partners as well. I was like, look, I'm thinking about changing companies, and they were, she and me like, well, I'll go wherever you go. And not just stating, tired of saying, with, the other company, we're giving them enough shout outs. With the other company.
I'll bleep it out every time we say
let's do that.
Okay.
So every time now with explaining to people who that is, it's a good thing if it aligns with what you represent. But Movement has schools, like literally charter schools in low income areas, and they have we have a $49 million profit share that goes back to the movement charter schools
Yeah.
into the community.
Yeah.
Whereas, the other company, they, probably care less about that,
Yeah, yeah.
and to
It's
have
not a priority.
It's not a priority.
Yeah.
And to have an initiative, grab the key.
Yeah.
That's an
Yep.
initiative to
Yep.
where we're going around the country and we're promoting Black home ownership.
Yeah.
And when you have something like that just naturally aligns with who you are and what you're doing, it makes it much more worth it.
Yeah.
Much worth your while. So
I love that.
That was huge. And even like I was mentioning Desiree earlier is, she, let me know like it's okay to go with a company that aligned with your values. And I'm one of not movements, but Noire's biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Like I love what you guys are doing, what you guys represent. You ladies, you guy.
Yeah,
you
we got a
lady.
couple guys.
couple
got a couple
guys
guys
now.
now.
Even
Yeah.
Rashad, Rashad and Jasmine. Those are my top partners, and the first thing that they said when they wanted to leave, they're coming. I was like, you are.
Yeah.
I was like, Jasmine, you may be straight with Rashad. I don't know if they're accepting guys. If he's accepting guys
Yeah.
yet. But I'm glad it worked out. But it was no doubt in my mind that when I, recommended they go with Noire, I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer
Yeah.
because of what you're building and how you align. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, man, like I love what you're doing. I love what y'all are doing over there.
No, I appreciate it, man. We're gonna keep focusing on you on this podcast, but I appreciate the
For sure.
the shout. But that's real, man. I think that's something that is missing.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of these companies out here that are being built, whether it be real estate brokerages or or mortgage companies.
Right.
There's companies out here being built behind the image of Blackness.
Right.
But the mission is not what it needs to be, and I'm glad we share that same value. And again, that's one of the reasons why I don't hesitate to have you do business with us.
Right.
Those having that connection with Austin P. Duke, it's a plus for me. It's not a negative thing. Yeah. So I have a segment towards the end of the podcast where you just drop 2 golden nuggets, and those 2 golden nuggets could be anything. Whether it be a quote, Bible verse, whatever it may be, just something that you live by. It's the beginning of the year. Give me a resolution or something. But just give me a little 2 pieces.
So the first one is in 2023. My continued mission is to stop being a slave to opinions. Stop being a slave to opinions. Okay. And pretty much to wrap it up in a nutshell, it's like stop caring.
Yeah.
Like stop caring about what other people have problems with their own, issues of their own. They're not sitting at home worrying about you.
Yeah.
Like live your life to the fullest, and there's no manual, there's no guide. And it's funny because I was just on Instagram and it was saying this experiment about the 5 monkeys and a ladder and the bananas at the top of the ladder. And every time the monkeys went to go try to get the banana, the experimenter would squirt their monkeys with ice cold water, so they would stop. And then over time, he would put in new monkeys, and every time the new monkey tried to go up, the old monkey would pull it down. Well, that's society. Everybody there's already a social structure. There's already a way of doing things, and nobody questions the norm. Well, I'm like, nah. If I want to do something, there's no manual, there's no guidelines to say that I can't do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I get you need some type of structure, but to stop caring so much about, especially in this new day and age with social media and YouTube, you create your own lane. Yeah. You create what you want out of life. So stop being a slave to opinion, stop being a slave to the norm, and just live your life how you want to live. If you're a genuinely good person, you have nothing to worry about. So
I learned a while back that I grew up a little differently. And I grew up not caring about opinions. And it's so crazy, man, because last year I went and spoke at my alma mater, so Winston-Salem State.
Love that.
And one of the girls, one of the girls stood up, man. It was 24, I think it was about 24 students in there. One of the girls stood up and she raised her hand and was like, hey, we were giving advice. We were talking about networking, getting out and meeting people and this, and she stood up and she's a junior in college. So she stood up, she's like, hey, I'm loving everything you're saying. I agree with everything you're saying. But how do you think we should do it? Because you guys are talking about, networking and going and talk to people and meet new people. But how do you think we would best do that? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she was like, well, our generation is very much technology.
Right.
We do everything behind the scenes. You know, everything's social media or DM or text. You know, we don't have that face-to-face interaction. And everybody in the room, I mean, at least 24 people. Yeah. I was like, first things first. like, okay, I get it. I get the society norm right now for your generation is to care about what other people are doing.
Right.
But if I'm up here telling you that the people that are in place, whether it be me or somebody higher than me, a CEO of a company, grew up or did their business in a span of time where it was you had to come up to me and talk to me.
Right.
You, as the uncomfortable teenager or 20-year-old, you need to adjust and then learn.
Yep.
Force yourself.
Right.
And having that conversation, I mean, I was telling them, like, you need to be uncomfortable or need to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
That's a transition that you need to make.
Right.
And having that conversation, I could at the end of that conversation, I mean, all of them were like, okay.
Right.
But it's like, damn, like that's so wild, man, that this generation of people, and how old are you?
29.
Okay, so you're not too far behind me, but this generation of people, you know, that 20 to 20, I'll say 28 since you said 29. that 20 to 28, man, is they're so focused on what people think.
Right.
So I'm happy to hear you say
that
that's something that you want to kind of focus on, or that's something you focus on, because for me it's second nature. I just don't give a damn.
Yeah, you can't be afraid to fail either. That's my second gem.
Yeah, okay.
Like everybody fails.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how every invention came with 1,000 ideas before it, and they failed. And you just got to keep going, keep bringing out the ideas. But to your point, one thing I did learn at beep.
Yeah, we're gonna beep it off every time you say it. Beep it out.
But one thing I did learn is exactly what you're saying. Actually, one of my coaches from the Panthers taught me this, Thomas McGay. He said, Duke, you have to do business as business is being done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I remember we used to say, oh, they're holding me. He's like, well, if the ref ain't calling it, then it's not a call. So do business as business is being done. So it's the same thing with what I've learned in that new space that I was in. Just because we do everything on social media, well, these older generation of people are they're still waiting on a phone call, or they're still waiting
in the mail.
Something in the mail, or for you to walk in and shake their hand and introduce yourself. So it may be cool for what's coming, but if you can adapt and learn to do what's already done in the development, then that's how you can be really successful. So you shouldn't take that story out. That's an awesome story.
Yeah, I will probably edit it a little bit though, because I kind of got long-winded.
Yeah,
but
that was good.
Even just with your point of, don't be afraid of no. My cousin, a long time ago, taught me how to talk to girls. And he was like, bro, the worst thing they can say is no.
Or ill.
They going ill, you're ugly, whatever. But either way, that's all still no. Right. So I learned early on just how to process things differently, man. When you got people in your life, and I strive to be that person in people's lives, where if you got people in your life that are giving you examples, living by example, then use them. Right. Use those people, or just be present and learn, man.
Right.
But there's so many that not caring what people think, man. I still remember, man. I got my eyes closed as I'm thinking about it. I could see it. I was in middle school, Quail Hollow Middle School, and I had a colorful golf bag, right? And I played for the middle school team. I was the only black kid that played for the school team.
You from Charlotte?
I've been here since elementary school, so I've been here 26 years. Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
So South Mech was where I was supposed to go.
Okay, I didn't know that.
E.E. Waddell opened up 2002, so that's when I went there.
My bad, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, you good. But I remember, man, I had this colorful golf bag, and I was good at the game, but I had no idea what it was going to do for me. But I was on the golf team, and every morning I had to carry this golf bag from my mom's car. I was a car rider, so I had to carry this golf bag, stand it outside while we were waiting for the doors to open, so all the kids outside seeing this golf bag and everybody laughing at me.
Right.
Again, not giving a damn what people say. I never cared. I was like, shut up. I said, I'll pull one of these golf clubs out and beat you with. Like, I used to say stuff like that. But still, man, just then I'd have to put it in the principal's office, and at the end of the day, I'd have to carry it from the front of the school to the back of the school so that we can ride to golf practice.
Right.
I remember every single day I had to go grab that golf bag. I would wait until, like, people started leaving to go grab it, but I would never avoid that main hall of where the gym was and stuff like that, and it was finger pointing, things like that. And I remember one day just telling myself, I was like, you know what? I said, man, this is why you do it anyway, Jerell.
Right.
You know, I think in my last episode I said, you know, people gonna always watch. You might as well give them a show. So every day I would do that, and then they would hear my name on the morning announcements because I beat somebody or did something like that. And by the end of that first semester or whenever, it was people going, hey man, you about to go, man, you got Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying? So you flip it, but yeah, you just gotta not give a damn.
Right.
And it helps you in any aspect of business or just any aspect of your personal life.
Right.
And then if it's gonna cost you energy, bro, it's not worth it.
Right.
It's just not worth it. Bro.
But that's one thing too though, is like growing up in the black community, you already know, like you had like, you were the weird kid. Like, Like you didn't ride the bus, you were a car rider. Yeah. So you already had that going for you. And then you didn't play basketball or football.
I did play basketball.
You played basketball. You went to Winston-Salem basketball, right?
Or no, I went to basketball with golf, but I played basketball from high school.
Well, point is you played golf. That was already that was another strike against you.
At a point in time where nobody played.
And then you probably had to call up a bag at a time where toxicity, the masculine toxicity was at its highest. So you had those 3 strikes right there. But you know the black community, we make fun of anything.
Yeah, I had glasses.
And you had glasses.
Yeah, it was the worst.
But I be joking around, like, you know, the black community, they'll make fun of you for anything. Anything healthy or positive. You could be eating a salad at lunch. Oh, look at this dude, he eating a salad.
Bitch.
Bro, I'm being healthy, bro. Like, what's up with you? But but you know, that's where a lot of white kids or a lot of other cultures, they don't understand that. They don't understand it. Low key, bro, I'm not opposed.
What you about to say?
To bullying. I think
we gonna cut that shit.
I think
no, listen. Kids, that's
no,
why.
I'll
fuck a kid up.
No. And you should listen. Hear me out. I think bullying should be brought back, and this is why. I am who I am because I got bullied.
No,
listen.
I'm listening, but no.
Because just like in the spiritual realm where you need good and evil, like if everybody is good, like how do you stand up to your biggest fears?
So
how do you stand up to your fear of that? I had to fight my bully.
Yeah.
And he stopped bullying me.
Yeah.
And not saying that we should condone it. Not saying that parents should make it allow. Like, teach your kid not to be a bully. But some of the best life lessons came from a bully learning, okay, you don't treat people like that.
I'm going to let you decide if you want to keep this, okay?
We can. Listen.
You want to put this out there.
And listen, this is coming from a place of love, and it's a little humor, and I'm not saying that we need to bully kids.
Yeah.
But I'm saying from where we grew up at, I had to go home to an older brother or go home to somebody's like, no, like you're not getting to the back of this bus unless you stand up for yourself. And it's still a lot of bullies in America as far as corporate bullies bullies in general. So if you don't learn how to overcome, then what are you going to accomplish?
So I agree.
That's where I'm coming from.
I agree to a certain extent.
Not the harm of kids.
But so that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
The difference is where we are
today.
There's kids killing themselves because of being bullied.
Obviously not that.
Yeah, so it's just a difference. I will say I grew up with 20 first cousins. I remember being 5 and one of my cousins telling me I shook his hand like a bitch. I said, bro, I'm 5. Like I remember this is in my head. I am all for negative reinforcement. Right. I'm all for if you know, hey man, that was whack. That was trash. Right. Give me something better. I'm all for that. But bullying, I never got bullied because I did play basketball. I did have a little bit of. I was from Philly, so people thought I was cool because I was from Philly. Right. My sister was older. She was pretty. She's pretty now too. Right. She was pretty. So I've never gotten bullied. But like I said, I'll fuck a kid up.
Right.
I got 2 kids.
As you should.
Yeah, I got 2 kids. I'm not threatening anybody's kids, but I will fuck a parent up too. Right. So it's one of those things where I do agree with you to a certain extent, but times are different. Just like I said, with the girl that raised her hand and said that, people, they care about what people say these days. Right. And it's all about how you raise your kids. My son and my daughter know that if they ever get bullied, me and my kids come with comebacks. And I'm like, let's practice comebacks. I told my kids, I kid you not, one of the things I tell my kids all the time, the first comeback just needs to be your mother's a skank and your daddy's not around. That's it. Right? Just bust it out. If that don't make them cry, then let's get some more shit. Right. But we practice comebacks in my house. Right? But that's part of it. I'm like, you're gonna be a kid, somebody going.
That's how Kevin Hart got his come up.
Kids are gonna be kids. So I definitely agree with some of it. But again, I'm more of the I'm a parent now,
Right.
So I see it from that aspect.
And I'm not yet. So
Yeah.
so again, and I'll do my Dave Chappelle letter. I stand by all the children of America that have been bullied. No, seriously, that and has done harm to them. So I don't condone that at all.
Yep.
And that's how you buy time.
Yeah.
But listen, here's the thing. It brings character out. Seriously, I was bullied. I was like 4'6", 70 pounds, but I had to learn how to use my other assets and the other things I was good at. I was really good at football. I was really funny.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that it was some traumatic experiences, but it has made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have a healthy balance of good and evil in a sense, and also just learn how to stand up for yourself. And you don't let kids pick on you. But from a parent standpoint, I can see where you're coming from. You
just gotta teach them.
Yeah, you got to teach them. Nobody wants your kids to get beat up or
you
nothing
just
like
gotta teach them.
that.
My son is in boxing, you know, so my son now he's like, I want to go to middle school with muscles.
It gives them something.
And I want to
beat
somebody up if they,
If they mess with me.
His older cousin got in a fight at school, and he's like, I want to get in a fight at school. And I'm like, well, if you're going to get in a fight at school, I need you to be ready. But, so it is what it is. But,
you got to high pitch this conversation, high voice pitch conversation.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I feel you. So the last part of the pod, I give my guests an opportunity to ask me a question. So any question that you may have, ask it to me. It's your chance to interview me.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So with this being this is a new space for a new day and age for us as Black folks in this industry, in this society. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned as a Black male in this industry, especially being in a conservative state? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned as a Black male in this industry?
I don't know if it's the biggest, but as I can
important.
give you an important thing that I've learned. I've learned, and you hear it so much, you got to be twice as good, right? And I've learned that so much during this journey of team leader to business to now owner and operator of the company. We just got to be super good, right? Even for our own community. I've learned that we have to prove stuff to our people.
Right.
You know, if a white person uses me, that's credibility.
Right.
You know, so and it's like, why is that credibility?
Right.
You should use me because you like how I do business, but why do they give me the validation?
Right.
But it's something we can't avoid. It's how we were brought up, you know, and I've grown accustomed to it, but it's fine because that just makes me work harder.
Right.
The branding, the marketing that we do, I put it in areas. I mean, our office is in South End, right? So I challenge the norm. But I've learned that we just gotta really be different. It pushes me to be better. It pushes me to challenge the norm, be different. That's our motto, right? Find out why we're different. But I'm constantly trying to keep the narrative towards us just being who we are. Right. And I think that's important. I can't change the color of my skin. I can't change how I grew up. I can't change my life lessons. And because of that, that's made me who I am. Right. So if you decide to do business with me, you're going to get all of me. Right. You decide to do business with Desiree, Cherie, Maya, whoever that's with the office. And I think that's the plus side to the environment and the atmosphere and the culture that we're creating at Noir. Right. It's be yourself. Right. I had an agent ask me that wanted to join or was interested in joining. She asked me, she was like, hey, do you have a problem with me posting what I want on social media? I said, well, as long as your ass ain't out. Right, for sure. Because the brand.
They'll do that now.
Yeah, I said, but the brand is growing. Right. So if you decide to join,
here's the house, but here's also my ass.
Yeah. So I'm like, the brand is growing, and by you being affiliated with us, we have a brand that is recognizable in the local area. Right. So you have to understand that your personal page is now your business page, no matter what. So, but she was like, oh, okay, well, cool. I don't do that. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, then we won't have a problem. Right. But outside of that, you can curse on your page. You can, it's part of who you are. Right. People relate to that.
Right, they do. And they actually refer that.
My grandmother told me a long time ago, if a woman don't cuss, don't trust her. Right. So, for me, that's...
Or if she says she doesn't poop, she's toxic.
Okay. Never heard
I've learned that.
Okay. I think something's wrong if she don't poop, but...
If she says she does not poop, I don't poop. she's toxic and you need to leave.
All right.
Personal experience from
Austin's
my ex.
corner.
I'm telling you.
It's fucking. That was it right there.
I'm telling you.
But yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. So you have to be able to showcase who you truly are.
Right.
So we do that 100% at Noir.
Y'all do.
So when people
Love the parties,
oh man,
the
that's
appreciation
it. That's
parties.
us.
Is
I
awesome.
did the worm. You know.
You did. I
know,
saw the
don't
video.
I did the worm, bro. Like you gonna accept me for who I am?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's it,
but that's one of the things, like at my other company, I couldn't do. I couldn't
Yeah.
wear my hair down.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't be
Well,
naturally who I am. I
your
did it
hair-
one time. He came up and the owner came up and touched my hair. I was like, "You're getting too comfortable," and I'm like, "It's my hair."
Your hair
bro.
wasn't
Like,
that long before though.
yeah, and it wasn't. And it wasn't. Like, I was
you didn't
baby
have much hang
dreads. He was like, I like those other twists. I'm like, bro, like, come on, man. But no, there's a fine line between being professional and, you know, being able to be yourself. I'm not about to tell all my business to every client, even though they do that to us.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard the lending side of it, you get on a consultation call,
yeah.
they tell you everything, all their business. And I'm just sitting there like, just listening, and it's confidential. Like
Yeah.
nobody else would ever know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy a lot of times when people go through, and sometimes you have to act as a counselor and just be that positive support. Like, hey man, I'm sorry to. I think we have a mutual client right now that is going through some things, and it's like, yeah man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm here to help in any way that you can. Don't feel embarrassed. Like you know, it's confidential type, but it's. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
That's what it is, man. Well, listen, Austin P. Duke, look into the camera, let the people know how they can get in touch with you, man, so they can, if they want to reach out.
You can get in contact with me on my cell phone, 704-605-2323. Instagram's better, Austin P. Duke. That's about it. You can call me, text me. I'm available, happy to assist. Any mortgage-related question that you have, it can be anything. You don't have to use me. I just like to be an asset and you know, help you out any way that I can. It'd be better for you if you use me, but I'm here to help.
Love it.
And assist in home ownership.
No, that's what's up. Everybody, you know how to get in touch with me at Soul by Rail on every platform, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. At Soul by Rail. The firm's page is at Noir Group _LLC. Reach out to any of those ladies or guys that are part of the firm. So if you have any questions,
Shout out to Rashad and Kev.
Yeah. Shout them out. So, but hey. Austin P. Duke, I appreciate you coming in.
I
here,
appreciate it, man. This
you
was
having
fun.
me at the headquarters.
Yeah.
This is dope. We have a nice little setup in the studio. So we're gonna have to have you back, man, because we like to talk. So
I do. I gotta get you on my podcast next, bro.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I like
appreciate
keeping
you,
it
bro.
real estate. I love that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
my
you
man.
having
I
me.
appreciate you. No doubt.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.